Today's 546 day. I'm here to share lessons I learn and I'm learning. I hope this also support your dreams, your goals, allow you to become the person that you want to become. Today I speak about learning and taking action. Now, I noted that sometimes I do not do the great job at that because I love to do one thing at a time. So when I learn, I learn. When I act, I act. But I learned that a lot of times this is not the best way to do things. So I'm trying to improve my way of doing things because what I learn is that it's the best learn a little and take an action a little. Learn a little and take action a little. Because every single time when you learn, you need to act on your learning. Because what is problem when you learn a lot and you start executing and taking action, you do not know what works and what doesn't. Because there are so many lessons that you implemented. And of course, because you're overwhelmed, it's very hard to implement everything. So that means because you take action on 5, 6, 7 learnings on the spot, like all the things that you learn, it's very hard to implement. And when you implement, you do not know what works and what doesn't. So it's very hard to move forward because now you need to question it and review all the things that you do. But imagine if you learn one lesson and implement one lesson that you learned. You know exactly if that worked or not. And then of course you move to the second step. So I learned recently that it really is very, very important to learn a little and then implement a little. Because so many people do not succeed because they learn a bunch and they're trying to implement a bunch, and because all those lessons doesn't connect it between each other, it's you are even perform at your worst because of that. And of course, because you perform at your worst, you think that all the things that you learn doesn't work, and you completely take away everything what you learn. And of course, if you take away everything what you learn, that means that you take away good things, you take bad things, you take everything. So it means that is not effective. So that means what you're supposed to do to be able to be much more effective. I've learned it like if you want to learn a little bit, so that means you allocate half an hour to learn or 1 hour. But it depends when you learn a nugget, one specific nugget that you say, oh yeah, I want to try this, I want to take action on this. And then of course you take action and look how that one lesson worked or doesn't work. And then when you check that one lesson, what do? You go back to learning because you need to find another nugget, another idea, another lesson that you're able to learn immediately. And every single time when you go back and you learn and implement every single action, I truly believe that you move much, much faster. Now, I truly believe that when you take action, it's very important to take action for a long period of time. For example, but that long period of time, it depends how long it is. For example, if you want to write a book and you take 90 minutes and you are not disturbed. So 90 minutes to work very hard. It's not that you're working for a month and then you don't think about how I could improve my writing. No, you work 90 minutes very hard and then of course you're able to go back to improve something. So now like every single time when you really want to learn, ask yourself how much you need to learn and what kind of idea you need to implement. And when you find that one nugget, I could highly recommend to stop even learning. It depends where you're at. So if you are watching some kind of seminar that is pre-recorded, of course you're able to stop. Of course, if you're in a conference, just write down as many lessons as possible. But now when you have all those lessons, what you need to do? You need to choose one at a time that you could implement immediately. And when you, of course, implement immediately, of course, you always have that feedback. I have done that mistake a lot of times when I learn a lot of things. I try to implement multiple things at a time, but now I learned that that is not effective. So now when I learn something, I implement one thing at a time and I see that it works much, much better. And most importantly, I feel much more confident and it doesn't create any resistance or fear, because a lot of times when you try to implement a lot of lessons at the same time, for at least me, I always feel that I'm a little bit overwhelmed because I know how every lesson that I learn is will will take out, how it will look like in the real world. So that when you take one lesson, you know exactly how you're able to implement that one lesson. So today, I just want to speak that when you really want to improve, and life is all about improvement, it's very important to improve effectively. And I truly believe that the most effective way to improve is learn a little, act a little, And when you do that, you're able to improve yourself much, much, much faster. So I hope you choose to win and see you tomorrow.